Hello and welcome to Python for AI course. So in this video, or by the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding on what are variables and data types in Python. Okay, so let's get started without any delay. So if you want to learn Python, there are many platforms where you can write code. But I would suggest one platform which is very user friendly and very convenient, which is Trinket. It's called as Trinket. Okay. So what you do as a first step to begin Python for AI. So go to your favorite browser. So go to your favorite browser. I am choosing Google Chrome. So open your browser. Yes. After opening a browser, just type for Trinket. Trinket. Okay. Trinket. Yes. So after that, hit enter, and yes, you should be clicking on this link, Trinket. So let's click on this, and then yes, so this is the screen that will appear, and this screen will basically ask you to create an account in Trinket. So go ahead and create or sign up. Okay, so, click on sign up option. I think it will be somewhere available in the top right corner. So finish the process, enter your basic details, and create the account. And after creating your account, I think you should go to the home. Yes, so the home page will look something like this, and then here in the new Trinket, just click on this and then just click on Python. Okay, so basically I'm saying Trinket that I want to code Python, so prepare a Python interpreter for me. Okay, so yeah, so once you reach on this space, so here is where we will be writing all our code. Okay, we will be writing all our code here, and then when you press the run button, you will see the output here. Okay, so yeah. So as I told you, the first lesson, Python lesson for AI, Python for AI lesson is variables and data types. If you're somebody who's very new to Python, no worries. As you progress this playlist, you will have a great understanding on Python, and later we will make a lot of coding questions, and eventually I will help you land in a state where you will be ready and fit enough to learn any AI technologies. Okay, and our channel posts many videos on cutting edge AI technologies, so subscribe to Crob AI. Okay, now let's get started. So first is variables, and okay, let's discuss variables first, and then let's go to data types. Okay, so what are variables? Variables are containers that can store values. Okay, so if somebody if you are somebody who hasn't even heard of anything regarding Python, or who hasn't even written any line of code ever in your life, so don't worry, I will explain you everything from the basics. Okay, so variables are containers that can store values. What do you mean by that? What I mean by that is, what is Python basically? Python is a programming language, right? It's a programming language. When I say language, what do you mean? When I say language, I mean I am communicating with the computer using Python language, and I'm instructing the computer to do something for me, because computer doesn't understand English. It doesn't understand any other human languages like French or Spanish, or no. It understands only C, C++, Java, JavaScript, Python, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so if I want to instruct the computer to do something, obviously I need to give some data to it, some information to it. For example, let's say I have a friend, and I want to tell my friend that hey, tomorrow let's meet in this place at 5 p.m. So if you look at the statement, this statement is completely filled with informations. Tomorrow is an information, 5 p.m. is another information, the place is another information, right? So in programming language also, when you're instructing something for your computer, you need to put in a lot of information. Only then the computer will listen to you, or I can say only then the computer will know what to do to serve you, right? So those informations can be stored inside variables. Okay, so variables are containers that can store values or information. Okay, all right, so let's take another example. For example, let's take water bottle. If you look at the bottle is the container, and the water stored inside this bottle is the value. Okay, so variables are like those containers, and inside the container comes the values. Okay, now let's see in Python how to declare a variable. Okay, so if you want to declare a variable, first of all you have to name the variable. The variable, give your variable a name, and the name can be anything of your choice, anything, literally anything. For example, I'll name the variable as name because I'm going to store my name in this. So I want to name the variable appropriately, like name. Okay, so after you declare a variable, you put equals sign, and after equals sign you just put in the values, and the values can be anything: a number, a big paragraph, a word, or a one letter, or a sentence. Anything is possible here. So let us say I want to print my name, or let us say, to keep it more simple, I just want to put in a number into this variable. So I'll say num1. I name the variable as num1, which is a short form for number 1. So number 1 equals to 5. That's it. Okay, so first comes the variable name, and then comes the equals sign, and then comes your value. Okay, so this is the variable and this is the value. Okay, this is the container, and 5 is the value stored in this container. Okay, yeah. Now you can declare another variable. So num2 equals 10. That's it. Okay, that's it. This is all what variables are. Okay, now let's print these variables, because I want to print something on the output screen. Otherwise there's no any fun in it, right? So let's print num1 and num2 to the output screen. That's very simple. You just need to use a print function here. I'll tell you what is the function, don't worry. I mean, these are all comes later. All this comes later. For now, just keep in mind that print is a function. So I'll just say print num1, and then I'll say print num2. And then if I run this, obviously, so whenever I refer to a variable, always keep in mind, whenever you refer a variable, the value inside the variable is the one that will be taken into consideration, not the variable itself. When I say num1 will not get printed here. The value stored in the variable will get printed. It's always like that. Okay, not only in Python, in any programming language, always when you refer a variable, the value stored inside the variable, only the value will be taken into consideration for anything, for printing or for calculations or for any computations or any role, any work or any task. For any task, the values will be taken into consideration, not the variable name itself. Okay, yeah. Yes. So yeah, coming back to print. What is print actually? Print is a function. For now, just keep in mind, print is a function. What is a function? Don't worry about all that. These are all future concepts. Okay. The reason why I'm introducing print function here is because it's one of the basic function that we have to use to print something. That is the only reason why I'm using it here. Otherwise, there is no problem. No, there's no need for you to worry about what is print here right now. So print is just a function that will print. That's it. That will print the data to the output screen. Okay, that's it. Okay. So, now moving on to the next point regarding variables. The name variables, what does it say to you? What does it say to you? What is if you break the down, if you break the word variable, it is vary. What is vary? In English, what do you mean by varying? Something is varying constantly, which means change. Something that is capable of changing can be called as variable. Something that has the ability to change is called as variable, right? So likewise, variables are also containers that can change the values at any point of time. For example, let me put print num1 in this line. Okay, and let me put okay, let me take only one variable right now. I'll comment all this, not required for right now. So let us say I'm saying num1, and then here again I'm saying num1 equals 45, and then again print num1. Now what do you think will be the output? Okay, so always keep in mind, in any programming language, the execution goes from top to bottom, from top to down, which means line number 1 is first, and then line number 2 next, okay, 3 next, 4 next, and so on. So always it goes from top to down. Okay, so in line number 1 it's num1 equal to 5, which means num1 is a variable which stores 5. And next I'm printing num1, so I'm getting 5 here. See, 5 here. In the very next line I'm changing the value of num1 to 45. That is the reason when I print num1 in the next line I'm getting 45. Okay, it's no longer 5. I changed here to 45. So variables are meant to change values. Not meant, you can change values. That is the biggest advantage of variables. Okay, yeah. Alright, now same thing goes for num2 as well. Num2 as well. Num2 equals 12 and then print num2. Obviously, yes, 10 comes first. 10 because num2 is 10 here, and then here I'm changing it to 12, so 12 here. In line number 12, when I'm printing num2, it is 12. Yes, because I changed it here. Okay, so this is called as variables. Okay, so variables are the basic entities that can store data to convey something to the computer to achieve a particular task. Okay, that's all what variables are. Okay, now if you know this much, I think the next concept would be to introduce you to data types. Okay, let's go to data types. That's all regarding variables. That's all. So data types. Now, as the name suggests, data types. What do you mean by data types? So in the beginning of this video I told you that variables are entities, containers that can store what? Information, data basically. And as you know, in this world, data can be anything. When I say anything, it can be of more than one kind or more than one type, which means it can be a number, it can be a letter, it can be a huge paragraph of sentence or a story, or it can be a decimal number. See, all these are different data types that we all use in our day-to-day lives. So in Python also we have different data types. Okay, yes. The first data type is integers. Integers, as you know, integers are whole numbers. Or I can say non-decimal values. Non-decimal values, which means anything that doesn't have a decimal point in it are all integers. For example, 5, 10, 11, 12, 10,000, 1,000, 79, 59. All these are integers. So the first data type is integers. And how to declare an integer? We have already declared it. It's right in front of your eyes. Look at this. This is all. That is all. This is called an integer. 5 is an integer. 45 is an integer. 10 is an integer. 12 is an integer. Okay. So I just like to repeat the same thing. Num1 equal to anything, 56, and then print num1. Yeah, that's it. So 56. Understood? So integers are if a value has no decimal values, it's called as an integer. That's it. Okay, those are all integers. Now the second data type that Python supports is float. What a float? As you might have guessed, float is the opposite of integers. Not the opposite, it's the other category of numbers, which is decimal numbers. Yes. So integers are non-decimal values, but float is a decimal value. Can you tell me a few examples? 12.5, 5.5, 12.7, 7.8, 56 point something. Okay. So decimal values. I'll say F1. F1 means float 1. Yes. By the way, the variable name can be anything, right? The variable name can be anything. So I'm just naming it accordingly. F1 means float 1. That's it. But you can name it as whatever you want. So F1 equals, I'll say 45.34. F2 equals 78 point something. And then I say print F1 and then print F2. Now if I run this, F2. And obviously we'll see the values here. Yes, so these are all okay. So the second data type that Python supports is decimal values. Okay, yes. And I think I forgot to tell you one important thing, which is I told you that a variable name can be of anything, right? It's your choice. You can name it as whatever you want, but there's two conditions in this. Okay, I'll tell you. So I will go back to this section. I'll just comment this for now. I will go back here, and here let me explain what I mean. So when you're declaring a variable, actually, of course you can put whatever you want. The name can be anything as in literally anything. I mean, even this can be a variable name. See, you know what I mean. So you can just put this here, and then it will print the value. Of course, look at this. Okay, let me comment this. Okay, yeah, look at this. 45. Sorry, 5. Okay, so, yeah. So variable name can be literally anything. Okay, but we just need to give it a meaningful name for us to understand it, and for our other team members, or I mean, when you work in a company, there'll be a lot more people working on the same project. So it's always suggestible to name a variable in a very meaningful way. But otherwise, you can name it as whatever you want. Yes, but there are two rules to name this. Not two rules, two conditions before you name this. A variable name should never start with a number. Like, yeah, you can't put 5. You can't put something like 3 num. No, this will give you an error. Look at this. It's an error. What is the error saying? Bad input on line number 4. Okay, so which means you are violating the conditions to name a variable. Okay, yes. So what do you do is, yeah, the point here is you can't put a number at the beginning, but you can put the number anywhere except the beginning. You can put a number here. It's completely fine. Let me copy this and let me put it here. It will work. Now it will work. You can put a number here. Okay, but never at the beginning. Yes, a variable name should never start with a number. Yeah. Next is a variable should never have a space in between. You can't say num space 3. Okay, you can't say num space 3. You will get an error. Again, same thing, bad input. Okay, so these are the two conditions. I mean, if you want, like, if there is a situation where you want to use more than one word in a variable name, you can use underscores. Underscore is possible, allowed. It's allowed. I can say num underscore 3. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, this is fine, but putting a space is not fine. Okay, you can put whatever you want using underscores. Anything underscore, anything. This are all completely fine, but never put a space in bit anywhere in a variable name. Yes, that's it. Okay, now I think I covered something very nice. Let me undo everything. Yes. Okay. Now let's go to the third data type, which is strings. My favorite. I like strings a lot because it's very, very convenient and the easiest of all. Okay, what are strings? Strings are a blind collection of characters. Blind collection of keyboard characters. Okay, why did I say blind collection? Why did I say blind? Because literally it can store anything even without making any sense. Let me name a variable str. Str means it's a string, so str1 equal to yes. And then another important point is a string. Okay, a string should always be within quotation marks, either a single quotation or double quotation, doesn't matter. It's completely your choice. What I mean is, I'll put single quotes here. Inside this, I say hi, hello, welcome. Hi, hello, welcome to Crop AI. Okay, so and then when I print str1, it will print the exact string. Look at this. Okay, yeah, let me comment all this. Okay, yes. Okay, so either you put a single quotes or you put double quotes, it's all the same. Use whatever you like. I always like single quotes, but you can put double quotes. Both are exactly the same. Yeah. Okay, now strings are blind collection, which means collection of keyboard characters. When I say keyboard characters, what do I mean? Whatever you're seeing on the keyboard right now, the letters, numbers, the special characters, small letters, capital letters, all the symbols, right? All of this can be represented in a string by just putting a pair of single quotes or double quotes. Okay, so let me replace this with something nonsense, like something that doesn't make sense at all. This can also be a string. That's why I said it's a blind collection. It doesn't see whether it makes sense or nothing. Whatever you put, it will accept, and then it will print it. If you print it, it will print. Okay, so if you want to store a sentence or a big paragraph, obviously the correct data type is strings. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yes, so let me bring back the same old one. Okay, now since we know what strings are, okay, so the next is, I think we are done with strings. The last data type is Boolean. I think in physics you should have heard this somewhere, Boolean. In physics, I think in your school or something, there's something like logic gates, AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate. You know, in those concepts, you will have a truth table which says true, 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 false, or something like this. I mean, if you don't know, just forget it. So it's okay. So Booleans are nothing but true or false. Yes, Booleans are nothing but true or false. Now you might ask me a question, why do we need a separate data type for only true and false, right? Good question, but this will make a lot more sense when we learn the future concepts like if statements or while loop or for loop. In those concepts, this will make complete sense. But for now, just keep in mind that Python has a fourth data type, which is just a true or a false value. That's it. Okay. Now I'll just say B1, Boolean 1 equal to true. Okay. And then print B1 and then print B1, and then here you will get true. Yes. So always keep in mind, you can't put a small t here. You cannot change anything in the spelling of Boolean. It's not a variable. You know what I mean? A variable, it's your wish. But a Boolean is a predefined value of Python. When I say predefined, which means it's a keyword. What's a keyword? Keyword means anything that has a predefined meaning in that language is called as a keyword. So true and false are keywords. It has a special meaning to it, a predefined meaning. So we have to follow the rules of naming it. The rule is it has to start with a capital T and then a small r, small u, small e. Okay, so this is the true Boolean. And coming to B2, now let's store false. Now I'll say print B2. B2. So true, so false. Even here, you can't mess around with the spellings or you can't change anything here because it's predefined. It's a rule that Booleans has to be represented in this way and we have to follow the way. Okay? Yes. That's it. That's it. Nothing more than this. Okay? So these are called as Booleans. Booleans are only two values. It should be either a true or a false. Nothing except these three. Okay? Booleans are always these two only. Okay. Now let me give you some more clarity on the string because many people miss this point actually. I mean, I train a lot of people. I'm a teacher, professional teacher, and I have my own company as well where I train AI, people on AI. And even there, people have this small doubts, silly doubts, conceptual errors regarding strings. And the main error is I'll tell you. So let's say str2. I'll say str2 equals, I will say 23. Now I'll say print str2. Now what do you think will be the output? Of course, it's this one and this one, 23. No doubt in it. But my question to you is, this 23 is a string or an integer? You tell me. Is it a string 23 or an integer 23? Because we just now discussed about integers. Integers are what? Whole numbers. And this is a whole number. 23 is a whole number. Okay? But the thing is, this 23 is not a numerical 23. It is a string 23. There is a difference between, let us take another variable. I'll name this as int1 equals 23. And then here let me print int 1. And then look at this. It's all 23. Both are 23. Int string 2 is also 23. Int 1 is also 23. But these two 23s are not the same. They're not the same. This is a string 23, which means it's 2, 3. It's not 23. It's 2, 3. And this is 23, which means this is a numerical value. This one is a collection of 2, 3. The characters 2, 3. This doesn't have a numerical significance in it. But this one is a proper numerical 23. But this one is 2, 3. It's not 23, it's 2, 3. Because strings are collection of characters, keyboard characters. And even numbers are a part of keyboard, right? So I told you that anything is possible here. Numbers, strings, special characters. Okay, I hope you got the point. Yes. So this is the main difference between a string that has numbers in it and a proper numerical number, which is integer. Okay, so don't get confused between both. Okay, so the last clarification that I would like to do is, let me take another variable. Let's take a variable a equals, I'll say true, and variable b equals false. True. Okay, now I will print a and b. Okay, I'll print a and b. Okay, now what do you think is the difference between this and this? Both are true, but one is a string and the other is a boolean. Just now we discussed boolean, right? I mean, of course they look the same. Even if you print also, they'll look the same in the output, but in the code they are not the same. This is a string true, this is a boolean true. Okay, there's a lot of difference. When I say string true, I can change this to anything I want because it's just a blind collection of characters. I can change this to small t. I can put whatever rubbish I want here. It will accept. See, okay. But I can't do the same thing in here. It will give you an error. See, because computer is wondering what the hell is this? I've never seen this value before. It's not a predefined proper value, right? So, yeah. Just like how I showed you the difference between a string number and a numerical number, here I'm just showing you the difference between a string true and a boolean true. Okay, so string is literally everything, but booleans are a proper capital T true and a small capital F false. Okay, so that's the nuance between that's a nuanced point with the difference regarding the difference between string and other data types. Okay, yeah, so don't get confused. I think if you know this much, it's more than enough. And in this playlist, our goal is to make you 100% fit enough to start any AI technologies. And in this Crop AI channel, I have been posting a lot of cutting edge AI technologies, courses teaching you cutting edge AI technologies, including Gen AI, machine learning, and a lot more. So please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video where we discuss more about strings and the operations on strings, and then slowly let's go forward in Python. Okay, so take care, bye, see you.